Sorry.
I enjoy playing these clips on The View. My pals over at the Fifth Column yell at me when I make them respond to The View, but I'm going to make you do it, Glenn. The View, first of all, yesterday, they're always kind of interesting just to see on the big anti-Trump days because, they play to type perfectly. Take a look at the walkout on The View yesterday and the song they chose to walk out to. The two so-called conservatives are laughing and smiling just as much as anybody else. And here's a bit of the actual discussion about the verdict. Sade.
We just walked out to the OJ's for the Love of Money, which is the theme song of The Apprentice. And that's connected to the fact that you know who has to pay money, 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 money.
Someone who lacks that kind of impulse control that cost him $83.3 million should be nowhere near a nuclear code.
I thoroughly enjoyed this because I really feel it's Megyn Carroll kind of speaking on behalf and standing up on behalf of all the people who have been abused, bullied, assaulted by Donald Trump.
It would have been easier at any moment to roll over and let it go, and she didn't because her integrity mattered more.
I think this was the first real consequence you've seen in some time. I think also the fact, frankly, that Nikki Haley is actually finally going after him in a real way. You're going to see him start to spiral. And on top of that, I truly believe he's in a bit of decline.
I don't know if we'll see any more consequences, but I'm damn glad for this one.
They make it, she's such a champion,
they're preaching
Glenn.
about consequences. Oh my gosh. No, they are giddy at the demise of somebody they despise. They are isolated in their Manhattan apartments. They are in a bubble with everybody they work with. If this was truly about justice and truly about women, you would handle that entirely differently. I mean, if my daughter was raped and I had been, fighting it in court, and the guy has to pay a huge settlement, I don't come in the next day celebrating the money. It was never about the money. Never.
So true.
No,
that's exactly right.
And how do you explain this to the average person? They play to an audience that has an applause light. I've been there. You've been there. They have an applause light, and they have somebody doing this to the crowd to make sure they're clapping. And they're all from, Manhattan. They're all from that area. And they're most likely all left at this point. They are in that bubble. They have no idea that other people in the country feel the exact opposite. And they are making him into a bigger threat of being elected with every step they take.
I love the revisionist history. Like, she was just this woman who was unfairly targeted by Trump.
No.
He sexually assaulted her, and she just kind of found her moral compass and came forward to do this. When in fact, again, it is believed that the law was changed in New York in order to allow this lawsuit against Trump by a Democrat who hates Trump. It was funded by a top Democrat donor. It was pursued by a top Democrat lawyer. All these people were anti-Trump and saw an opportunity. George Conway was patting himself on the back for encouraging it to happen and putting the right people together with the lawyer and Eugene. The Democrats are taking, and he's technically a Republican, but of course he's the diehard never Trumper, taking such a victory lap on this because it's a political win for them, because it was a political hit right from the beginning. And yet the media narrative by these sages on The View is, you really just stood up. She stood up for what was right. She had the courage to just stand up. That's not at all what happened. She's like the Brett Kavanaugh accuser. It's like an AstroTurf movement to try to get somebody to hurt someone rising to prominence in Republican circles.
By all accounts, this was first talked about at a reintroduction party in Manhattan for Kathy Griffith, who had just held the Trump head up. And so they were all getting together to reintroduce her to society and saying, don't Don't shy away from her. It's no big deal, and reintroduce and rally around her. And that's apparently the night that this whole thing was hatched.
Yes.
I mean, I'd like to know a little bit more than that, especially, Roberta Kaplan. Conway even suggested a lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, who had co-founded, this is from a Canadian news source, who had co-founded the Me Too legal defense nonprofit group called Time's Up. Kaplan was apparently deeply committed to helping victims of sexual abuse, but deeply committed to politics, too. She resigned in August 2021 from Time's Up over sexual misconduct allegations in New York Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo. The problem was Kaplan was not standing up for victims, but was actually involved in an effort to discredit Mr. Cuomo's alleged victims. According to the New York Times report, Megyn Carroll case would be a mix of sex and politics, but with a Republican villain. So it was the idea was to wash this attorney clean again.
On Main Street, local credit unions and community banks are the heart of our small towns. When these institutions are united in opposition to the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill, Congress might want to take note. Our sponsor, the Electronic Payments Coalition, says the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill favors corporate megastores like Walmart and Target, shifting costs and risks unfairly onto credit unions, community banks, and the 140 million customers they serve. Find out more at electronicpaymentscoalition.org and see for yourself if you want to tell Congress to protect America's credit unions and community banks and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. Visit electronicpaymentscoalition.org to take action. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.